You're watching Leafs Morning Take with host Nick Alberga and former NHLer Jay Rosehill. The show starts now.
Better times in the city of Toronto, not because the Maple Leafs are winning, because Jay Rosehill is in town crashing Zach Phillips' pad right now. Nick Alberga, Jay Rosehill, the Thursday Leafs Morning Take presented by Bet365. What's going on, Rosie?
I'm live and on location. 10 more comments and we're doing some smelling salts. I feel like Zacky right now. I like it.
I thought you were going to take like a black light or something to Zach's bed on the show.
Ooh, I don't want to do that, man. That would, yeesh. My kid's in Uncle Zach's living room right now playing Chell. He's getting the wheels beat off him by Tampa Bay, but Samsonov's in net. So everything is good, actually.
How are we feeling, man? How are we feeling? How was the game last night? Saw you on the big screen. Saw you in the Alumni box. Things are good for Jay Rosehill these days.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I wasn't sure what to expect. We ripped out to watch a game. My youngest hasn't really seen one in Toronto, so we popped out to do that. And then they said, hey, if you're here, bring your jacket. And can you give out a jersey to someone in the armed forces? I said, absolutely. And then Lawton put me on the list for after. So I just wasn't sure what it was going to be like. Obviously, the box is awesome, but got to come out in front of the crowd with my kid, and he's a little stunned. He gets kind of shy, but it was pretty awesome. He's got some memories. Thanks for getting that video up top. And yeah, all things pretty cool. And then afterwards, we go down, and out comes Nylander, out comes Matthews, out comes all the boys. And then Shane Doan came and bullshitted with me. He's from Alberta. And then he goes, come into the room. So my kid's walking through the room, looking at everything. Spoiled little bugger. So unbelievable night for both of us. Pretty cool. I could share with my little guy. So yeah. And then what a great night to see. Zack just said too. He's like, your first game, you got to do all that stuff. And Matthew scored, Nylander scored, Tavares scored, and Nye scored, and the Leafs win. It was a pretty good one.
Maccelli too. Can't forget about him. The revenge.
Right.
Look. But can we go back to that video and the allure of Jay Rosehill, like how swift you're looking, like you're looking at the camera, but you're not. I'll be honest, the crowd was buzzing. Okay, they announced that you were there to hand out the jersey, and the crowd, there was a bit of a roar there, man.
I didn't notice. There's a lot of lights and shit in front of you, but it might have been your imagination. But nonetheless, we're creeping closer and closer to Remembrance Day in November here, and be able to do that at a time like this was pretty cool. So thanks to the Alumni for asking me to do that. And yeah, just more fun stuff. And T-Dot, I should come around here more often.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was having various conversations around the arena last night. You'd be surprised how many alumnus do not have jackets like you. Okay, so that's elite company you're in, and it fits you well. I'll be honest. I saw you on with Ryan Leslie pregame on the Leafs YouTube channel as well. Like you're getting louder and louder in these parts, man. I know you don't live here. People are starting to talk about you a bit.
Oh wow, that's whatever's good for the show is good with me.
What a team guy,
so.
Jay Rosehill.
Team first. Well, no, you jump on different things like that. We're talking with Healy, who runs the Players Association. Lots of good people around here, and any opportunity we get to jump on with guys. Ryan Leslie comes on with us, so I return the favor. Chatted with you coming out of the locker room last night. It's awesome, man, and we want to grow our brand, grow our show, grow our presence, and bring the fans in this market what they want. That's the whole point. So I'm just glad we're trending in that direction.
Yeah, I was just too busy sniffing jocks in that room, man. It smells good. The fresh aroma of NHL jock is just unrivaled.
Who's got the sweetest musk?
I would say Nylander. There's some bravado to Nylander. You saw him behind the scenes. Like, you could not tell that guy just played an NHL game. Like, he is so built for this market. It's wild.
Oh, he's just cruising around with no shirt on at all.
Dude, we even heard him behind the scenes yesterday waiting for the scrums, and he's like joking with Maccelli, let's go to the casino, let's do this and that. Like, he was just having a time, right? Because obviously the magnitude of a game like that for Matias Maccelli, John Tavares gets honored, and ho-hum, Willie just comes out, another multi-point effort, another goal. Like, it's just been that type of start for Nylander. We haven't even seen his best hockey yet, but he's just so dialed in all the time.
Yeah, and I think he's he's capable of taking his talents to another level this year. And we always talk, and people talk, we're not replacing Marner or anything like that, but if you can get everyone to elevate and complement each other, like much like they looked last night for a lot of it, this team can still and can absolutely still do special things. Like they made the changes for a reason, lots of different reasons, but they knew they wanted a little bit of a different look and they wanted a different mentality. And we've seen that in the playoffs. And to have a guy like him kind of leading the charge, picking up some slack, Pappy can get going the way he can, JT, and then, there's Nyes is there, and Domi can pull his weight, and we know what Bobby McMahon can do. And if these new additions like Joshua Maccelli, Joshua almost scored a couple of times. My kid was
good.
yanking on my shirt because we put in our Tim Hortons picks, and we got, I think we got Nylander and Matthews. Somehow we got to pick, and then so Joshua was our third, and he almost buried. I can't remember what you get if you go 3 for 3, but he was all over that, and just it was a little glimpse of how well-rounded this team could be, is what I'm trying to say. And for all the freak out that was going on in October, like again, the team last year that won the division and almost beat the Panthers had a shit October as well. And this team's still putting pieces together. Like I just keep reminding myself of that when there's negativity in the market, because that takes time to adjust to. They're shit in October anyways. And then you see a glimpse of that and you're like, that's what it was supposed to be. That's the look. That's the idea. So if they got that as their template and start building on it, I mean, I think they're in good shape.
I was borderline flabbergasted watching that game. I'm like, where the hell have these guys been for a month? Where it's like they actually look like a real hockey team last night. Don't get me wrong, there were some mistakes that led to goals, and defensively, it's still a work in progress. But it was as close to a complete effort as you can have this time of year for the Maple Leafs. So all systems go with this team right now. Feeling good. 3 wins in a row to start the month of November. Our Super Chat charity partner is Sick Kids. Want to make sure that your question or comment gets on the show. Hit us up with a Super Chat. Proceeds from our Super Chat will go to Sick Kids, ranked the #1 research-intensive children's hospital in Canada and 3rd in the world. What did you make of Jordan Binnington last night trying to steal Alex Ovechkin's 900th goal puck? Can you do that if you've surrendered 4 or more in like 4 different occasions this season?
I didn't see it, man. I wasn't online
Dude,
last night. I was.
He put it into his
jocks
pants. Like
you.
Ovechkin potted number 900. He took the puck like nobody in the arena. The refs wouldn't notice. Put it in his pants and tried to skate away. And the refs like, dude, like, what are you doing? You're wasting time. Give us the puck.
He did. He's so weird, hey?
Look at this.
Like, no, you're not. What's the point? Like, what's the point? He's a weird sandwich, man. Like, for the bumping in, now he's got to go dig it out? Jesus. 900 goals.
Yeah.
Like, that's Johnny
Dude,
T's career.
That
is weird, man. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to. His answer would probably be like, "Cause fuck him, man." But it's like,
Yeah.
well, okay, like I get he's the opposition, but like he just did something that no one's ever done. Like that's Johnny T's career, plus another Hall of Fame like 400 goal career, and he's still playing. And as if you're not going to have the puck that's goal number starts with a 9, which has never happened.
Crazy.
And then Jordan Binnington, he's not going to get it because Binnington stole it and put it down his pants. I'd love to hear him justify that. He's kind of a donkey, but I don't mind it. It's something to talk about. It's fun. You shake your head when he's being an idiot after the whistle and blockering guys and bumping guys in between intermissions and stuff like that. It gives me a chuckle, but you can tell it's gone on like the nerves of even his teammates at times.
Yeah, usually trying to fight people but not steal pucks, but this time around it's pretty crazy. And very seldom do you see that in the NHL world where they clear the bench. My cousin, who's a Habs fan, reached out and was bitching and moaning. And the guy complains about how do you complain about the bench clearing for 900 goals? Like, it really proved the magnitude of what Ovechkin has done being in the scrum with John Tavares last night. And a lot of the media asked, like, Nyes and all the other guys who walked out, like, what do you think of JT, his special night? And it just puts it into perspective. The guy has 501 goals in the NHL. Then you look at Ovechkin, 900. That's like double his career, man.
I know, like they literally gave a golden stick to John for what he's done. And this guy's got like almost twice. It's flabbergasting, man. And I mean, he's kind of my age. And remember when he was coming in and him against Sid was always the thing. And are his celebrations silly and his tinted? He's this big Russian guy that comes in, and you look back and you're like, what he's done and what he's transformed himself into, like, and he's got that cup too, like that 2018, I think it was,
That's
cup.
huge.
Like,
Yeah.
God, was that just the feather in his cap? Now there's nothing you can say. Is there anything he hasn't won? It's unbelievable, the consistency he's scored at for, like, I guess it's like 20 years, man. It's unbelievable. And yeah, when you think 100% of Johnny T's thing last night, which is just like 500 times you've done this, and it's not even close to Ovi, is incredible. So yeah, to take 5 minutes to hop off the bench and give flowers to that, which we'll never see while any one of us is alive again, I'm pretty sure you would think. Why not?
It just shows you how much weight a Stanley Cup would add, where it's like, I don't think people are still talking enough about Austin Matthews scoring 69 goals in one season, and winning a Stanley Cup would add anything to the resume of these guys. Nylander, specifically Matthews, specifically JT. There's been a lot of convo, and understandably so, recently about JT in the Hall of Fame. The Stanley Cup to Ovechkin's resume is just like a supporting cast, but the fact that he got it changes the perspective tenfold. Remember how long we were talking about Ovechkin? Yeah, this is great and everything, but where's the cup? He got the cup. Now nobody talks about this guy winning ever again, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of players who are Hall of Famers or on the bubble of that, and even like a Dan Marino in the NFL, and these guys that are like phenomenal, but there's that caveat when you're talking about them in the Hall of Fame sense and in their legacy sense, and it's yeah, but. And I mean, a guy like Ovi could do 900 goals and could surpass the unbreakable records and stuff, but there would always have been a yeah, but, right? And that, like, guys that are that driven and that competitive and that good and leave a legacy, to not be able to have anyone have that conversation without saying yeah, but it's got to piss you off. It pisses a fan off, So yeah, but he never won a cup, was following Ovi around for a long time, and that is done. Now it's just like there's nothing to say. He is as great as they get, and there's no caveat beside it. So with John Tavares too, yeah, I mean, look at John Tavares' career, what he's done, what he's accomplished, the numbers, and all the rest of it, and even the stuff that's not on paper, like the way he handles himself, his leadership, captain, professionalism. But there's that yeah, but. And honestly, anybody in Toronto, man, if you win a cup in Toronto, it's just like there's nothing that you have to do. There's nothing left to do. That is the pinnacle. That is like what it would mean. I always think about that. Like, what would it be like if the Leafs won the cup? It would change a lot of things. And for the people that got it done, it's just, your grandkids will be living off of that.
Hell yeah. And producer Vic going to bat for John Tavares here in the YouTube chat at the Leafs Nation 401. JT1 with 600 plus goals. He's a hockey Hall of Famer. 10,000% says producer Vic here at the Leafs Nation 401. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Leafs Morning Take wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget to visit theleafsnation.com. Everything okay over at Phillips's pad? A lot of questions about his cleanliness. He said he cleaned the place before he arrived. Can you confirm that, Rosie?
Oh, for 3 bachelor dudes living in here, it looks fine. I've heard stories about yours actually from
I'm
some
sure you
different
have
folks, and he's in his 20s still, not his 30s, Nick. So I don't know if you should be casting stones right now. But
it's not stones. It's chat conversation. Chat conversation. People are asking
gotcha.
to chat. Yeah.
Place is good. 3-bedroom place in Liberty Village, a block away from your house, apparently. I was thinking like studio or something. I didn't want to haul my shit all the way down here. We were packing really light. So I just was like, Zacky, can I pop into your place and rip a pod off? And he's like, okay. But my kid's in there just mashing NHL 2024, I think. So all is well and everyone's happy.
1,000%. His place is cleaner than mine. There's a lot of moving parts to my condo, and there's only reason why I just live here. This opening segment is brought to you by Table Fare and Social, the perfect spot to fuel up before the game or wind down after work. Located right across the street from the arena and just steps from Union Station and the Metrolinx bus terminal, Table Fare and Social offers a wide selection of food and drinks, with space for larger groups and a family-friendly atmosphere. Next time you're off to a game, check out Table Fare and Social, a downtown food hall right across from the arena for some great pregame bites and drinks. So the Maple Leafs defeat the Utah Mammoth, and I know a lot of the conversation was about Utah playing 3 and 4. I don't care. The Maple Leafs, Rosie, took care of business last night. Having said that, they did surrender the first goal for the 8th time in the last 9 outings. The start on time, man, please.
Can we bet on that or what? Why? How have we not
so.
dug that bet out yet? My goodness, they're gonna get scored on first. We keep thinking they'll break the cycle, but
Yeah.
It's funny. I was sitting in the box watching the game. It's much different watching because I'm usually watching on TV and you get some consistency going and can compare and contrast what you're watching. Where there, I'm just like, Jesus, I think they're playing pretty damn good. Like, the chances against, you can understand how and why they happen. You're playing against a good team. Like, there's, I don't know if sometimes people think you have to dominate the play for 60 minutes, nothing against, and it's just like, okay, like how realistic are we being? But I think we usually point out, the drastic things and the patterns and the bad habits and stuff like that. I didn't see a lot of it yesterday. By the way, the game is so fast and skilled and cluttered, and they still make these plays that, I don't know, on TV it's just so easy and obvious, but when you get down to it and look at the lanes and stuff and the way they pick up pucks and protect it, it is such a high skill game that it's like they're playing a different game than people are used to. The way their sticks pick up the puck mixed with their skills, it's unbelievable how skilled they are. But watching them, I was impressed. It was solid. It wasn't flashy in your face. It was patient. And it was disciplined to a degree. Like, they were clogging up the middle. They wouldn't take dumb chances. They stayed on the D side of the puck for the most part, and they waited for their chances to come. And I thought that they forechecked. They got in on the forecheck and they turned the puck over and they bought time with their body and they waited for the support man. And it just seemed pretty solid. And I'm like, God damn, we got down a goal again, but then got it back and then got the lead, which is tough to do, which is why you never want to go down a goal. You got to score 2 straight just to get to where you wanted to start off with. And they just kept on it. And, the big boys showed up. I thought the D was fairly solid. Stoli was fine. But again, like, to do that to the Mammoth, who have had a great start to the season and by all accounts are a pretty solid team, and it wasn't flashy or crazy or no one just absolutely popped off. Yeah, your big boys were your big boys, but the D were pretty decent. Stoli was pretty good. Like, they can be even better than that. And if they're taking baby steps towards that, I'm all for it. It was a different vantage point for me in perspective, but I thought it was a great step forward.
Did you know that was their 6th comeback win of the season already last night? Like, they're playing catch up every game. But I tend to concur with you. I thought it was as close to a complete effort as you can get this time of year. Yeah, there were mistakes and some D-zone, turnovers, but I think they're headed in the right direction. I think just the flow of play, man. They were playing as a cohesive unit, like the passing, the speed game. Remember like a week ago how slow that team looked? They look a lot different. Again, they're taking advantage of a team that played 3 and 4, but even like the bigger guys, like Matthews is really starting to hum. I think this is great news. Like, we did an entire segment yesterday on Matias Maccelli. Should the Leafs give up on Matias Maccelli? And Zack was ready to call it quits, man, not to single him out again. But I think it's the ups and downs of an NHL season. Great on Maccelli and great hunch by Berube. Like, most coaches would be like, you know what? We won with this roster. It wasn't pretty, but let's not change. Let's not tinker with the roster. It was like wholesale changes. He puts Maccelli into the lineup. Mr. Scratch and Score. He's like Nick Robertson last night.
Yeah, dude, I haven't been giving up on this guy. I just think you got to get, honestly, the lines, dude. Like, I didn't think Lotz showed a whole lot last night, and why pretty
Really?
rusty,
I thought he was
right?
good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention too much, but I mean, I think he can be better. I know he can be better. Like, he can be very noticeable out there. And I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying I know he can, like, be the guy you're kind of talking about at the end of a game, where easy to get overshadowed last night. But
yeah,
when he gets slotted in there, like that third line looks like the third line's supposed to be, right? The fourth line looks like a fourth line that's supposed to be. Yeah, a couple of those guys are interchangeable. And let's say someone is struggling or injured or really inconsistent. Easton Cowan can come up, and you watch that kid after going to the Marlies and wanting to get back to the show, how hungry he'll be to do what he did to start the season, and just pouncing everywhere with crazy energy. And then he's got the ability to put points on the board as well. I really feel like this whole blender thing, it's like, what are the lines? This guy was on the first line, now he's on the fourth line. Like, what is going on? Now that Lotz is back, I really feel like you're going to start to see some consistency, and you'll find a guy like Maccelli be able to fit in kind of more where he belongs. I know there was talk, and even I was wondering, can he be that disher on the top line? I I don't know if we'll see that again, but he doesn't have to be, right? He can play in that middle six and be effective. And as long as he's not turning pucks over and he's pulling on the same cord that everybody else is, I think he can be absolutely fine. And he showed it last night. So again, I tweeted before the game even started, I like this lineup now. It looks balanced. And I had a feeling that if you brought Lotz back in, boop, it just kind of bumps everyone to where they need to be, and looked solid. They played solid. Hopefully it continues.
I have to credit producer Vic and Zack, because they've been saying this for the last little while, how they think the lineup could be a bit more balanced if you add like a Scott Lott into the mix. He played 10:57 last night, 3 hits, 2 PIMs, a -1, played with Lorenz and Domi on the quote-unquote fourth line. I don't know what the hell that call was. Like, 2 minutes for being strong. Like, I hate when they do that. Like, they single out a guy in a scrum where there's no scrums to begin with. Like, it's a physical sport. There's not as much physicality. I thought it was a bad call on Lawton. He gets 2 after the whistle. Then there was like a late penalty at the Sergachev got a cross check at the end of the second period. The Leafs got a power play. Like, the officiating is just so up and down, hit or miss, man. I can't stand it when it ruins the flow of a game too.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. I saw the 2 minutes on the board to
Exactly.
start the third, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is that all
Yeah.
about? But
Yeah.
Lots, I don't know. He just gave the guy a shot for being near the goalie, which, we all want in this market, and it's kind of
Yep.
needed. And Stoley's been vocal about that, but I guess it just kind of got him in the face a bit. I don't know. Again,
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
give
I
me a
think you're
break.
preaching to the choir when you're talking
Yeah.
about letting calls go and not having as much referee interference in the game. Like, guys aren't getting hurt. You're not, like, just as long as you're protecting the players and not allowing the infractions to, like, take away goals or prevent goal scoring chances, then just let them play hockey. Like, it's I didn't think, again, I had a weird vantage point, but it's
Yeah.
certainly frustrating when you're watching a good game build and it just gets pulled back, pulled back, pulled back, power play. It's just like, God, man, like, we don't want to watch that. We want to watch a good hockey game, and you're not letting it develop with this ticky-tack bullshit that you keep calling 2 minutes for. Like, power plays aren't that exciting, to be honest with you. Sorry. Like, let them play, man. Let this thing build. Let the better team win by playing a 60-minute hockey game, and then call the stuff that matters, that stands out, that everyone agrees with. But this in-between shit, it's been driving me nuts for a long time, to be honest.
At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. From your vantage point, what was your read on Austin Matthews? Now a 3-game goal streak. He is starting to cook, starting to play. That was a vintage Matthews shot. Great on Maccelli to find him in the slot. But, man, that was just positioned perfectly to beat Vitek Vanacek.
Yeah, it was far side shelf. It was on the far side of the ice, but I couldn't, I didn't know it went in. It was just,
Wow.
it looked like nothing but traffic, and I couldn't see the net bulge. And then everyone went nuts, and I'm like, oh my God, he buried that. And then on the replay, just a seeing eye shot, exactly vintage Matthews picking a corner and just wiring it, where, for a little while there, when he's not on his game, it looks like he's kind of double clutching it, and he doesn't quite know where it's going, or he's not confident in it himself, or maybe something's bothering him to shoot the way he wants to. And there's none of that there. He wired it, labeled it. Willie looked good. He just plays the game so differently, so chill. Sometimes you're like, why didn't you do what? And there it is. Like, he's just thinking ahead and more. He's got plays in his head that other people don't even see, and if they don't come to fruition, sometimes he kind of looks bad doing it. But I mean, how can you knock the guy, or how can you question what he's doing out there? He's so highly skilled, and he's got a hockey IQ. I think Craig Berube is of the same thinking that you just got to let Willie do his thing, right? If it gets bad where he like is being lazy, then you got to get on him and remind him. But sometimes he's just doing his thing, playing his game. He's trying to figure out how the play is going to develop, and he's going to jump on something. And let's be honest, all of us watching are not don't have that kind of IQ. So let the guy cook. It's fun to watch him live. JT, lots of like Dakota Joshua looked strong
Yeah.
yesterday, and Nick Robertson continues to impress. Like, honest to God, his work ethic is what I wish everyone would do. Like, he is just firing his legs, moving his feet to every loose puck for every puck battle. Every time he touches the puck, he is just water bug out there. And I mean, I would like to see a Domi do that, and I would like to see honestly everybody do that because it's I think it's effective. And in the past, I don't know if he's gotten away from that, but he's just goes away and you don't even notice him. And I mean, that work ethic is that last 2 strides to that scoring chance that I saw 2-3 of yesterday. And I tweeted that he absolutely deserves to be in this lineup. And people are like, well, no kidding. I'm like, well, he's been scratched how much in the last 2 years and been on the chopping block forever. If he wants to play like that, maybe there's just a flat out spot in the lineup for him where he is going to be effective on this lineup and they're going to play him and he's going to be happy to be here and we're going to be happy to have him. But again, we'll see if that consistency is still a thing or not.
And again, it takes a lot for you to say that because Easton Cowan was sent to the American Hockey League yesterday. He's played 10 games in the National League this year, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. I think it got down to a numbers game. We've been talking about this for a few weeks now. There was like 15 forwards at practice the other day, but were you stunned, shocked, surprised? Do you disagree with this, Cowan in the AHL?
Not really. Again, it's a numbers game. I don't think it's really play or performance based. He's been doing fine, but with the numbers going on and you're bringing Scott Lawton back in the lineup and you have to do something with Nick Robertson playing the way that he is, you're not pulling him out. So what do? You have to do something. And he's the obvious glaring choice, right? Go get some experience in the minors, go play at that speed and that level and get your, just get some experience, get some reps, be the big dog down there, see if you can really start to feel it. And they don't have to go through waivers or reentry waivers or any of that stuff. And people were talking before he even stepped foot on the NHL ice, he should play in the minors for a bit. That's really good for his development. So by all accounts, it makes sense. You have to make a move. It's definitely going to be Easton Cowan. Things will change, whether it's Robertson or an injury or someone's going to struggle or something's going to happen. Up he'll come, and I'm sure he'll be chomping at the bit to say, give me another crack at this NHL. I'm excited to see that. I guarantee it'll happen, and I think he'll be better for it. It's a good opportunity to get him experience down there, which is great for his development, is the bottom line. So it makes sense to me. I'm not flustered by it. I'm sure he'll be back.
The greater question for me is, are you open to including Easton Cowan in a trade? That's going to be the greater question over the next couple months, because ideally, who do they have to give up? I was discussing this with a couple of media people last night, and they said, as far as they know, Cowan's an untouchable, if you want to call him that. But if the Maple Leafs want to improve this roster between now and the deadline, like, he's the one guy I think every team's going to ask about, right? At least.
It's kind of all they have. Danford, I don't think Danford's stock is that high. I mean, we've followed him a little bit and covered on the just by being fans and doing the show. I don't know what his stock is to everybody else. Like, it's not like Ben Danford's going to bring this stud forward or D or whatever home. I don't think I like it, man. Like, if things don't work this year and, the D's getting older and all of a sudden, like, you're going to be talking, we're not in the mix to win this year and we have nothing coming down the barrel. Now you're starting to talk about some dark years, right? And you have to think about that. Yes, I'm thinking about this year, and yes, I understand that the Stars are in their prime, but to sell the farm for, like, who is this guy that's coming and how do you know he's going to work? I mean, if it's like a Sam Bennett or, like a proven stud where you just know he's going to be one of the serious difference makers in a playoff series, then okay, let's talk. But like, I don't think that's happening. It's not. So to get rid of Cowan for what you'd get for him, in my mind, what I'm thinking, I'm just thinking, don't do it. Like Cowan can be that effective himself, and then you still have him to kind of, mark my words, you trade that guy over the next 10, 12, 15 years, you will be watching him do damage throughout the year everywhere else, having playoff success. He is a gritty playoff type of guy too. You will watch him win, and everyone will say, remember when they dealt him for so-and-so? Like, I'm not interested in that.
Let me spin it this way. If Calgary calls you and says, hey, we'll talk about Nazem Kadri, but we want Cowan in a potential return, what do you say, Jay Rosehill?
Can I call you back? That's tough, man. I think Kadri would be great here. How old is Nas now?
He's 35 now, man. It's crazy.
35, eh? God damn.
Yeah.
Be interesting, man. They could use some of him. You think about last year's playoffs. Game 3, Game 5, Game 7. You don't think you could use some Nazem Kadri in that? That being said, he gets filtered down to, what would he be? Would he bump Johnny down to 3C, or would Nas be 3C? And I mean, I like him, and he's got ability out the ass, and he is intense, and he's got physicality, and he's all the things I like. Yeah. But I could. You're thinking best case scenario. You think about him coming here, and then like, well, what if he just doesn't really invoke that much change on a series or on the game or on the team, and he's not quite clicking, or it's just like, God damn it, we got rid of Cowan. So it's really tough, man. You'd really have to mull over that, and I think you got to look at this team for a longer period of time. You got to get far past U.S. Thanksgiving. I think you got to get far past Christmas and really have an idea of what are we working with here, and do we believe it, and do we have to do something drastic to try to take a stab this year, or is it worth selling? It almost feels like selling the farm, because the farm isn't big and all we have is like Easton Cowan.
Yeah, to a degree, I sort of disagree with you, because I think there's a window to win. Like, the time is now to win. The one thing I realized last night, Austin Matthews is 28. Like, he's not 19 years old anymore. He's got 2 years after this one left on his contract. After that, who knows? I know Willie's locked in, JT's longer in the tooth. Like, they're a veteran team. And I think if there's a deal that comes your way, and Cowan's included, I think you have to be open to anything. If you're the Maple Leafs, you're trying to win a Stanley Cup, we'll say, in the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, they've been trying for the last decade, but you understand what I'm saying. If a deal comes to fruition and it's like you have the chance to be a legitimate contender for the next couple years, and you get somebody with term, a couple years left on their contract, you have to think about it. I know Cowan's a bright spot. The future's here, but I want somebody who's going to perform and contribute consistently right now. And I still have my wonders and reservations. Like a young kid, you can't just shove him in and be like, like, for example, like Edmonton, they got Ike Howard in a trade from Tampa. It's like, oh, he's going to play on the top line with McDavid. How long did that last? One period of a preseason game, never to be spoken about again. So I think it's unrealistic. And I know Easton Cowan's got this pedigree. He was so dominant in junior hockey. He's a bottom 6 guy right now. I think that's what he is. Maybe a second liner for me. I think if you have the ability to get somebody a bona fide piece in that top 6, you really have to think long and hard about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a thinker. That's why I'm kind of like, can I call you back? Like, that's beat your head against the wall. Yeah. Do I pull this trigger or not? Big time consequences type of thing. But
yeah,
I do agree. And maybe that's the reason to do it, is because you got to make hay when the sun shines. Like, this doesn't happen very often. And like in 3 years, what if Austin Matthews isn't here and the whole decor is bloody gone, and you don't have much that you're trying to center it around Ben Danford, and he's not totally ready, or maybe not even that guy. And all of a sudden there's just this scratching and clawing for playoffs, chunk of time, which is going to be ugly. And that's when you'd look back and say, and then maybe Cowan is just kind of like a third line dude with some skill and turns into a Domi or a Robert. Like, I think he's higher than that. But yeah, I know what you mean, man. Make hay while the sun shines. I've said that a bunch, and it's like, the time is now. Are we doing this or not? What does it take to get over the hump? And it's going to take some risk, and it's going to take some balls, and maybe you got to make a change like that. I guess we'll see. I feel like Tree Living's already kind of done that, giving up some first rounders and Fraser Minton, and done some things that could cost you down the road in order to try and win now. And maybe there's one more piece to go, but I do tell you, you get rid of Cowan and your cupboards are very empty. Like, do we even have a first rounder until like 2029? Like, if it doesn't work, you're not coming back from it.
Yeah, you're right. And I understand where you're coming from. I'll just put this out there and we'll move on topics. Like, if the Leafs don't do something substantial this spring, there's going to be large conversations next summer here on Leafs Morning Take or in general in Leafs Nation where you're talking about a big boy getting moved. Like, that's gradually the next step, right? If you fail again, or do you just keep going back with the well and keep going when it's just not working? But again, the boys are feeling good. Team's playing well right now. We got a super chat and support of Sick Kids at Vintage Joe Hill. Thank you so much for the super chat. One of the best parts of last night's game, he says, was Lawton protecting Stoli. Totally worth the penalty. Just a no. You're not doing that. And it had an effect for the rest of the team. Great buy-in. How do you feel about? I mean, you played with both guys, in fact, but Lawton specifically, I was going to ask you earlier on because there was a theme in the scrums after the game where the guys are like, man, we're so glad that Lawton's back in the mix. Not so much what he does on the ice, but in the room prior to the game, apparently he was firing them up.
That's good to hear. Yeah, and I think you can do. I noticed a whole bunch of scrums, guys, kind of like making a point of doing it, but like, there's so much in between doing nothing and like punching a guy in the face and taking a penalty, right? And I think I think Lawton would like that one back because like you literally just have to grab them around the scrum like this and start driving them into the corner with your visor touching their visor. Said, you do that again, I'm going to take your teeth out, kind of thing. That's all you have to do. And if everybody does that, that's all you have to do. And you don't get a penalty for it. And in this day and age, like, what's that guy going to do? Anything to you about it or take exception? No, he's going to be this little pussy that's going to do nothing. So just everybody just do that. And like, if anything more comes from it, then two more guys pile in and grab the guy around the back of the scruff of the neck. And that's it. That's all you have to do every single time anyone comes near you. And everyone's just like, man, the fucking Leafs and their whole decor and everyone, like, I'm just gonna loop into the corner when the whistle goes every time this year. I don't care. Like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to deal with that. And now you have this reputation of being like putting up with no bullshit and being there in the drop of a hat. It's so easy to do. It's so simple, and it's not like you need to turn into Wendell Clark overnight. Like, it's not that at all. It's very subtle. I like that Lots is doing it. I like that some of the D are doing it. That's the first thing I'd be, not the first thing, but I would be addressing that if I was Craig Berube. Like, you can do that without punching a guy in the face and taking a 2-minute roughing penalty. Just go grab him by the crest of the jersey and skate him into the corner, giving him an earful. Simple.
Need a mood check from you. It's amazing how quickly things can turn in any market, never mind Toronto, but just the vibes were like a week ago was like doom and gloom. This team is cooked, even dating back to Monday after the first two periods. All of a sudden, I'm feeling pretty good, pretty positive. I won't lie. I understand it's just 3 wins in a row, but I'm seeing some things start to click. Stolarz has been better. Matthews is humming. Nylander's playing better. I mean, they're getting more consistency. Defensively, they've been a bit better. But how do you feel about this team compared to maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think they're where they should be. They're figuring things out with a pretty drastic change in the offseason. Like we mentioned that in the summer, but yeah, with this market and all the coverage and the size of the fan base and the people who care and the coverage, it's not going to be easy if they come out and stutter step. And especially when they're the Toronto Maple Leafs, you probably can bet that they're going to stutter step in October because they always do. This year, they actually have reason to do it. So the fact that they're coming out of it, I mean, we said on the show, we're like, watch, it'll hit November 1 and they'll start doing better things and everything will be forgotten about October. And it will be. Keep playing like that and getting win streaks going, getting production from your big boys, getting big goaltender performances, which, by the way, we haven't even gotten Joseph Woll back yet and been able to have our solid tandem goaltending situation come to fruition yet. So, like, that's something you could look forward to. I could see Domi being a lot better too and popping up. I could see Matthew Nye as being better than he has been to start this season, and really noticing him out there. But by all accounts, they're getting better and they're figuring things out. Of course, that power play needs to start to click. They need to start the games on time and take control of the momentum earlier and not get scored on every single game first. So there's things to work on, but I'm not even surprised that they've started to do well and that people are starting to talk positively about it. It is the market, but November is a better month than October always. And it doesn't take long in this market to flip the switch and have people start talking positively about them.
At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Now, I need you to do your best and try to uncover what Craig Berube had to say yesterday about Joseph Woll and a potential return and a season debut. He said, it's getting close. I don't want to give you a timeline and it's changed, but I can just say this. He's in a really good spot. Whoa. What does that mean, Rosie?
Great question. Look, this is just my opinion. I believe that this issue has been a mental issue. There is a lot of pressure, anxiety, depression. These things are real performance destroyers, and it's so hard to play in that league, let alone that position on that team with that stuff going on. Again, I'm just speculating that I believe it makes sense that is what's going on. So for Craig Berube to say he's going to be in on Saturday, I don't think they've gotten to that point. I think he's going in and feeling things out and making sure that he's right, whether it's a physical thing or a mental thing. And I guess I shouldn't speculate, but in the back of my mind, it has something to do with that because it's so out of the blue and so odd, and there's absolute hush about it. That's where my mind goes. But by all accounts, things are looking better. It's not Craig Berube's place to say this is how he's doing. I think it'll just be when they announce he's going to be back playing, then that's when they announce it. And it sounds like it'll be sooner than later. And by all accounts, he's trajecting towards that being anytime now. So I would just be prepared for that announcement anytime, and the sooner the better. And I wish Woolsey nothing the best and hope he can get back to it and pick up right where he left off and be a solid player for this hockey team.
Yeah, my question is this about conditioning or is it something else? Like, can he pick up and play a game right now? Can he play with the Marlies right now? Because I look at this weekend, it's a back-to-back on home ice. You got Boston Saturday, Carolina Sunday. And I'm trying to weigh the pros and cons of Sunday's game where you assume Stoley's going Saturday against Boston. Would you rather Joseph Woll, who hasn't played an NHL game in months, or Caden Primo, who's been lit up? Like I know he's a former Cane for a cup of coffee and there's that revenge aspect, but Carolina is one of the best teams in the league. And I'm looking at that game, and if Woll's good to go, I'm throwing him in there. I'm sorry. I have no clue what's going on behind the scenes, but if he's good to go and he was skating 2 weeks prior to returning, now he's been here for a couple weeks, I'm throwing him in there, man.
Yeah, and by all accounts, that would be a great time to do it, and that would make sense, and that would be great for the team to be able to put Joseph Woll in right there. I don't know what the problem is with him. I don't know where he is on the road to getting back to being placed in between the pipes. But I would love it for it to be there. Like you said, for all those reasons you just said, it would be great if Joseph Woll came back at that time, but I don't know what's going on with him. And maybe it is as simple as I am 100% ready to rock, but I just need to get some reps conditioning wise before I get thrown into an NHL game. Again, watching last night, I understand there's a reason why Marty Brodeur could play 68 games in a season. The puck and the plays and the skill and the ability of those guys for a goaltender to be able to go side to side so aggressively, the amount of times they have to in a game to stay alert and stay on top of the plays that are developing, that is so goddamn crisp and fast and unbelievably skilled. It is difficult. Yes, they're a little bit softer, and yes, they should be able to play a back-to-back now and then, but it's tough, and you need two guys, and I would love for Joseph Woll to get ready more than anybody else, but I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if this is, for all I know, it's him and the psychologist taking these baby steps and then checking in. Well, how did you feel after you did this? How did you feel after a full practice? How did you feel after XYZ? How do you feel about being told? Like, I don't know if it is a mental thing. Like, we can talk about physical things till the cows come home. You can't talk about a mental thing. It's just as much a part of the game as anything. So my mind is still there going, that might be a process, and rushing it with a physical thing as much of it as a mental thing, rushing it could set you back considerably. So I'm sure they're cautious of that, and I hope it's Sunday. The sooner the better for Joseph Woll, but I can't act like I know what's going on with the details.
Jeffrey Wilder writes in, Rosie, who was in the alumni box with you last night?
Wendell was up there for a bit. Gary Lehman. Some guys popped in and out. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, maybe it was because it's Utah. I don't know, but usually Wendell's cruising around. Darcy Tucker, I always like to talk to. Seen different guys in there. Some from the far past, some well-known guys, some Hall of Famers, some not as much. Seen Sittler in there. But yeah, you never really know when you're going to show up. But there's really good food and an open bar and good seats. So
great spread. We did it, I think, a couple years ago together when we first started the show. At Vintage Joe Hill, thank you so much for another super chat. As a former never trade Marner guy, just doing the math for Maccelli, Waugh, Joshua, we have 6 goals and 9 assists for $3 million less and better goal count than Marner to date. I was skeptical, but now I'm seeing it. Here we go. A week ago, it was like, this team misses Marner. Now it's like, wow, Maccelli, Waugh, and Joshua. What a fit for these 3 guys.
Yeah, look, you're not trying to... Like, all the points that he gets in a regular season, you don't need all of those points. Like, you don't need all of those points. Add up all of his playoff factors. Like, give me some Corsi bullshit numbers on how much Marner has controlled the outcome of a playoff game. Give me that number. And the point is spreading that money out on your roster enough that you have plugged holes and you have guys who can keep momentum, get momentum in the first place, limit mistakes, make high percentage plays, protect the puck, forecheck like a bastard. Like, all of those things that when you watch them have subpar playoff performances, it's flat, it's bleak, and there's none of that. And Marner's $13 million or whatever is a part of that. So you take that and instead, and you have re-signed Marner and you've had him and and it's not just that it's Marner, it's that Marner was the guy who was up next, right? You know, if the times were different, like, I don't know, I like Willie better than Marner, but maybe like the spotlight would be shone on somebody else if the timing was different. But Marner was due to make $13 million or whatever. And you had to decide, are we going to do that and do the same shit? We know what happens in the playoffs when we have this group of guys together because we're missing A, B, and C. Or do we let him go and then go get some guys to try to fill A, B, and C? Are they going to be better hockey players than Marner? Are they going to replace his 100 points that he got 1 year? No, and they're not really supposed to. But I love the idea that people are starting to see, I see what this team looks like without him and why they made those changes. I hope it continues, and I hope the big kablamo is in April and May and hopefully June when that team looks like a playoff team and they're performing like it.
11.5 per season for Willie Nylander is an utter steal in this climate, this market, man. He has been very, very valuable, I think, in terms of a salary cap hit, and a great start for Nylander point-wise to this season. It's time now for the last call, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use code NATION. That's NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit ConnexOntario.ca. Hit both calls yesterday. I had the over. That's now 12 of 14 Leafs games with the over. I had the Maccelli point prop as well. I'm going to the Florida Panthers well tonight. They were embarrassed by the Anaheim Ducks the other night. They're on the road in Los Angeles. I'm going to play the Panthers money line on the road in LA tonight.
Dude, and it's only minus 105 from what I see on Bet365. I'm just going to tail you on that. That's kind of shocking, man.
They're not playing well,
up
man.
And whatnot.
They're not playing well.
You know, you would think that they've got enough experience, grit, veteran leadership, understanding of what good hockey looks like and what it takes to get there and to do it. They will respond after they got smacked by Anaheim, hey? Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
Minus 105, that's damn near even money. I would think that the Panthers would respond as well.
There you have it. Good stuff. Our thanks again to Zack Phillips for the studio space today, right?
Free studio space and free daycare, too. You know what's going on back there, Uncle Zack?
Well, a lot of people in the chat wanted a post-game show for the NHL PS4 game.
Oh yeah, I should yell at them. He was down 1-0 when I left to do the show, but again, Samsonov let in a soft one. I saw the goal, but I was wondering if he knows what he's doing. Apparently, he does. We're not big PlayStation people, but he seemed to know what he was doing. Tomorrow, I'll give you an update on how that game went.
Sounds good. So again, thank you to Zack for hosting today. Thank you to everybody in the chat at the Leafs Nation 401. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leafs Morning Take wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Don't forget as well to check out theleafsnation.com. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to preview the back-to-back on home ice. A lot of home games to start this season for the Maple Leafs. Home to Boston. Fraser Minton's return coming up on Saturday night. The Carolina Hurricanes in town on Sunday night. So we'll preview that coming up, and maybe a guest.
Zacky!
Well. There he is, Zach Phillips.
Uncle
Thank
Zack.
you so much, Zach. There you go.
How's daycare going out there?
It's good. He just wants to fight and chill the whole time.
The most shocking statement in the history of this podcast. Jay Rosehill's kid wants to fight in a video game, and Zach's probably turning it down too, right?
Dude, I was trying to fight, and then it wasn't accepting, and he goes, "Why won't you fight?"
Why are you being a pussy, Uncle Zach?
Yes, exactly it. So thank you to Zach once again. Thank you to producer Vic. For Jay Rosehill, I'm Nick Alberga. We'll talk tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews. We got clips. We got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.